In 1994, a small group of parents in Colorado Springs came together to start planning a charter school. Charter schools are formed by private individuals, but they receive public funding and form a contractual relationship with their local school board or some other chartering agency. In 1995, Cheyenne Mountain Charter Academy, offering instruction in kindergarten through 8th grade, opened its doors.
Well, I started with the school in August of 1995, not knowing anything about charter schools. Came here, and one of my first tasks was to order everything a school would need. And so I proceeded to do that and felt a little pressure because that was August 5th and school began August 21st. But the excitement that I felt from the staff that was hired and the founding board members to produce a school like this it was just incredible. And ordering was not a problem. We got everything in place. We began school, I believe it was on August 21st that year, with full staff, a full school, and just watching the staff learn from our board members who had this high vision of excellence for our school come together was just so much fun to be a part of.
The founders of CMCA were convinced that students could exceed the expectations of typical public schools, but they knew that success would depend on careful selection of curricula. They were impressed by the content-rich Core Knowledge series written by Professor E.D. Hirsch of the University of Virginia.
Books with the titles, What Your First Grader Needs to Know, What Your Second Grader Needs to Know, What Your Third Grader Needs to Know, are the books that guide us primarily in content areas as well as in some of the skills areas to a certain extent, producing a systematic, articulated progression through these content areas so that when the kids are through 8th grade, they know an enormous amount.
The Core Knowledge Scope and Sequence introduces real academic material starting in kindergarten. The founders were determined not to waste a minute of valuable learning time, convinced that even 5-year-olds can learn history, geography, and arithmetic, as well as learning to read and write.
George Washington, you are a very special man. Our country needs your services. Would you be the general of our army? What army am I talking about, kindergartners? Get ready. Continental Army! And that Continental Army fought a war. You know what that war. That King of England said, I'm your boss. And what did the people, the colonists say? Get ready. Oh, no, you're not!
The founders believed that teaching methodology was as important as content. Direct instruction turned out to be the approach they felt would most efficiently deliver the skills and knowledge they wanted their students to learn.
Absolutely like a fish to water, took to direct instruction. Love it. Wouldn't want to teach any other way. Direct instruction it's a formal, not an informal. It's overt, direct, explicit methodology that can be used across the board, and you certainly will see that at Cheyenne Mountain Charter Academy. Any time of the day you walk through a classroom, you'll see direct instruction. Whether it's curriculum that is written for direct instruction or whether it is Saxon math or a science program or a history program, you will see the direct instruction techniques and methodology handled with expertise. There's a teacher-student question and answer flow. I was reading something about Abraham Lincoln, and they said that he attended blab schools, that all the students would answer with one voice, and it just made me chuckle because that is what a direct instruction classroom sounds like. It's a blab classroom because everybody's talking after they've been given a cue when to come in, so a teacher will know if in fact they do know how many continents there are, or what part of speech was just modeled.
Fin. What word? Ready? Fin. Clapping your sounds for fin. Here we go. Get ready? Fin. Say it with Mrs. Will. Here we go. Get ready? Fin. William, you're being an excellent clapper. One more time. Get ready? Fin. One more time. Get ready?
Direct instruction emphasizes rapid interaction between students and teacher. Choral responses keep the involvement of all students high. In the basic skills areas of reading, spelling, and lower-level math, Teachers use scripts, which have been repeatedly field tested in classrooms to maximize successful responses by students and to eliminate confusing language.
DI is both a published curriculum and a series of principles. And the published curriculum, of course, is based on those principles, which means that if you have a discipline which does not have the specific curriculum established, published by the producers of DI, you can still turn that material into direct instruction following the principles.
We actually run it. That's test the hypothesis. What is step 5? Everyone, get ready? Record and study data. Record and study data.
One of the principles of direct instruction is that students vary in the number of times they need to repeat a fact or a skill before they master it. Based on their current level and rate of mastery, students are placed homogeneously in small group settings for basic skills instruction.
In Cheyenne Mountain Charter Academy, we do a lot of grouping. For spelling, math, and reading, we put them in groups according to their abilities. And so we test students when they come into our school. We put them in the right group, and as soon as they reach their potential in that group, we move them to the next group.
If properly placed, students can learn with maximum efficiency.
Many of our kids are 2 and 3 grade levels ahead of where they would be chronologically. And they do it without having nervous breakdowns, without stress and strain. It's just that they can do an awful lot more than we think that they can.
Teaching the DI